We are back. We are back. It feels good to be back, everybody. And welcome back to the infamous Canadian Entertainment Podcast, one of the top podcasts about Canadian entertainment in this world. One thing that often people don't remember about the Canadian entertainment industry is that, half of things that Canadians are entertained by is snow removal. So I was exercising another part of my Canadian entertainment wheelhouse over the past how many weeks? I don't know. I'm on snow time right now, and I was participating in snow removal, which, as any Canadian listening to this will be nodding along going, yep, we could see that coming from a kilometer away. Because as Canadians, we are so entertained by the snow. We make snowballs. We make snow forts, we make snow cakes, snow muffins. A lot of our diet is snow, right? That is just how we operate. Now, a lot of people know this. I know a lot of people around the world will be tuning into this right now because Canada is in the news. We have officially won the big Four Nations face-off. I did a pep talk for the Canadian team, and I said, look, guys, I'm in the middle of snow blowing a farm right now, but I wish I could be there for you guys at the Boston Gardens. I'm a former Boston Bruins fan, but I lost my Boston hat, so I don't feel as connected to them anymore. I lost in September. I know that you guys are not playing the Boston Bruins, but come on, you kind of are, right? We've seen how some of those guys behave on the other team, and nothing against Boston. It's just this is real, and each of the players was. I did a one-on-one FaceTime call with all of the players. Each one of them. Sorry, we're having some serious issues, but the issues have been resolved once again. Sorry. Yeah, so I did a one-on-one call with each of the players. Connor McDavid, I was actually best man at, he had a virtual wedding, and I was the best man. He had a virtual wedding in one of my dreams recently, and I was actually the best man. And you know what? Dreams, I'm figuring out, could be actually more real than the actual reality we live in right now based on what I've heard about the afterlife. So there's a good chance that Connor McDavid knows exactly what I'm talking about. But I said the same thing to him that I said before his virtual marriage that was in a dream I had. I said, look, you're going to go out there, you're going to get down on one knee, and you're going to go up to the goaltender, and you're going to say, I still want to marry you. And because that's what I did when I got married. We did it in Vegas last year, but we both were wearing hockey gear just to remember where we came from. So that's what we did. She dressed up as a goalie, and I dressed up as, yeah, you guessed it, Connor McDavid. Had the Edmonton gear all full out, and I just got down on one knee. And I said, look, we're at the ceremony right now. Let's get married. So that's what I told Connor McDavid to do as virtual wedding that I had in a dream the other day. And that's what I told him to do on the ice. Now, the way it was played out on the ice is a little different than what I recommended him to do. But you could tell in the way he shot that puck, that's what he was saying to that goaltender. He said, look, we're getting married still. Psych, I just scored on you, buddy. Sorry. See you at the Olympics, right? So that was hilarious, and we had a good chat about that a couple days ago in another one of my dreams. Dreams are more real than reality, I'm finding out. Anyways, so it's been a crazy couple of weeks. And as I said before, snow removal is part of the Canadian entertainment apparatus. We're so fascinated by this stuff. Snow parties, there's a lot of snow parties. Snow martinis are often given out at these parties. And yeah, I was just having such a ball just out there in the snow removing it. Sometimes I feel bad that I'm removing it. I'm like, God, y'all are cool too. But I've had to do what I've had to do. No, I'm talking about the individual snowflakes. I'm like, y'all are cool too. Lots of people have been hard on the snowflakes over the past couple of years. Everyone's calling each other a snowflake, right, in a derogatory sense. So every time I shovel up a thing of snow, I say, look, guys, you've had a rough couple of years. I'm not going to burn you. I'm just going to put you in a pile. Do whatever you want. But you guys have had a rough couple of years because everyone's using snowflake as a derogatory term. And yeah, and then once we get a freaking snowstorm anywhere here in Ontario, we are all acting like a bunch of snowflakes. Life is so ironic. It's like a hipster's absolute dream. Been talking a lot about dreams on this podcast, the Canadian dream, and I personally think that it's possible that the Canadian dream is a freaking big ass field of snow, and you have a freaking Tomo. I think that's what it's called. Tomo snowblower, starts with a T, and you're just asked to plow the whole freaking thing to kingdom come. That is the Canadian dream if I've ever heard one. I've heard a lot of things in this life, and that is just, I love snowblowing. That's one thing you'll find out about me very soon. I'm sorry if this has been all over the place. I do have brain freeze right now because I've been removing a lot of snow, putting in piles. See, snow removal is a bit of a misnomer because we don't remove it. I'm not burning it. I'm putting it in a pile, buddy. Right? And yeah, these misnomers are they're gonna get me killed. Yeah, just kidding. But guys, we are having fun. This isn't our self-produced episode. This is like bedroom rock or something. We are actually in the Canadian Entertainment Podcast Studio 1 right now. It took me it took me the better part of 72 hours to get this thing cleared. I had a couple of my buddies help me out, Steven and Marcin Matthews. They did a number on this thing. This was covered in snow. All my gear was covered in snow because I've been out removing snow that I haven't had any time to remove the snow on my podcast gear. And they did a number on it. I don't know what they did. I let them do their thing a bit, and I came back, and I said, 72 hours later, I said, you guys killed it. I got to record a podcast. But they know that when I say that sort of thing, it's just like, because I respect the out of them. I respect the out of them. I'm Canadian, can't swear. That is a rule. Canadians are not allowed to swear, or we are required to build an igloo for the Prime Minister, right? And the Prime Minister can turn into a polar bear, and he has swiped me in the face before when I built his igloo wrong. So, yeah, it's crazy up here in freaking Canada. It's so cool how close Canada is to space, right? Because we are so north. Every night I look up and I'm like, wow, I am so much closer to what's out there than everyone else in the world. This is such a delight being Canadian and just looking up at the stars and saying, wow, I am so much closer than everyone else. I will not try to gloat, but yes, I will talk about it on my podcast. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. But yeah, each one of those stars I know has a planet Canada like we are, because Donald Trump, he says that he's going to make Canada the 51st state. Well, I think we're going to pull the Uno reverse card and we say no, we're doing we're making the whole planet Canadian, buddy. Get some get some maple syrup. Sorry, no more Diet Cokes, Diet maple syrup, buddy. Don't worry, it still has this aspartame in it, buddy, but I think a lot of us Canadians are saying, no, we're making it Canada planet. We're making it Canada planet. We're going to get fake snow and put it all over all the climates, and we're going to ship beavers to every single country, and every country is going to get ruled by a beaver, and then we're going to let the moose do whatever they want, because that's what we do in Canada. You often just see a moose just like on the highway, just like chilling, and yes, of course. And we're gonna let hockey players do the financial stuff. We're gonna let SCTV people, they are in charge of education, and we're gonna let curling is, you have to do a morning day curling game as I do every single morning. With my neighbors, it's mandated by Canadian law that we have a curling match against one another, and we just have such a fun. Yeah, we're making this Canada planet, and everyone's gonna love it. Canadians are some of the funniest, most creative people I know, so y'all are gonna love Canada Planet. That's coming very, very soon, so look out for Canada Planet, this whole thing. Unless you're an alien listening to this, or a UAP or interdimensional being, as I've heard is said these days, you got a bit of time, but this shit for sure becoming Canada Planet, and oh, I can't wait. Sorry, I gotta turn a light on. The sun is setting. Turned it on, audio listeners. Wow, I look like I am on a beach right now. This is fantastic for the visual listeners right now. So we're gonna do a quick white balance adjustment. It's just me running the show right now. Not everything. So I rigged up a light wherever I am right now. We have to dig it out, but it's just, there's certain elements just not working for me right now in the studio monitors. So we're going to figure that out and be right back in the shake of a lamb's tail. So, or as we will say the shake of a hockey player's hockey stick. Yes. Okay. See ya in a second. Canadian Entertainment Podcast family, thank you so much. Once you flip the lights on, everything else goes wrong. So I had to call in a lot of my buddies, Tommy and Michelle Marcadado. They help me out whenever I have lighting issues or camera issues. So they absolutely did a stunning job on just helping me with that, and we're back. I do have to slouch a bit. Well, no, I could probably get away with this because we only have a certain amount of room to play with, like in terms of the framing, because there's a solo episode. Sorry, audio listeners, wake up. We're going to talk about fun stuff soon again. But y'all, thank you so much. So I live a life dictated by fear. I am often fearful. My first instinct is to be afraid. I am constantly wondering if someone is mad at me or if someone hates me or all these things. And I have been trying to get over that by, as you've heard in multiple episodes, doing meditation. Now, since there's all this talk about Canada is in the news, I have decided to start doing Canadian meditation. So I sit down on, a number of hockey pucks with my bare ass, and I close my eyes and I just think about all the funny shit Canadians have said over my lifetime. Smoking Jim Carrey, I think about that. In The Mask, I say that I replay a couple scenes from The Mask in my head, and then I close my eyes and I replay a couple things Catherine O'Hara has said in a couple of the Home Alone movies. I find that absolutely hilarious, even though she played more of a serious character because she lost her child, whose name, of course, was Kevin McAllis something. I don't know. I'm busy as a lot of the time, right? So I don't always get the details of everything correct. And then other things I think of, I just think about all the funny stuff Canadians have said over the past few years. And then I open my eyes and I say, wow, that I still feel fearful, but I feel I had some good moments, and that was cheaper than a lot of the streaming services, just by closing your eyes and thinking of your favorite movie scenes and stuff like that. I need to advocate for that a bit more, right? I ditched all my streaming services a couple months ago because I was like, wait a second, I don't need Spotify or even Bandcamp or anything like that, because I can literally say, instead of saying Alexa, we rely a lot on these other technologies, but literally I say, brain, play me Every Time I Look at You by 5440, and then it just every time I just start hearing that in my head. And the cool thing is I can literally say to my brain, okay, brain, 1 year, play Hootie and the Blowfish's version of Every Time I Look at You or Look for You or what. And the lyrics are allowed to change too. It's way more advanced and customizable than ChatGPT. So play the Hootie and the Blowfish version, the right side of my brain, play the 5440 version in the other side of my brain, and on the top of my brain, let's do a version of Every Time I Look at You, but let's make it, what would Shakira sound like? And then it plays me, oh, every time I look at you. It sounds identical. And I get all three playing in my head, and I'm literally just like, I'm at work and everyone's frustrated as hell. And I'm like, what is going on in my head and my ears right now is like a delicious one. It's like biting into a slice of delicious, gluten-free, gluten-free. The food is so good it hasn't even been invented yet. It's the best food of all time, right? So seriously, delete your streaming service. And same goes for movies, right? When I'm on break at work, right? I just close my eyes and there I am watching Dumb and Dumber, Patch Adams, fast forward that, or like combine the two plot lines together. Then of course we watch Jumanji, and then I have Jack Black, like I combine the two Jumanjis. I have Jack Black's character interact with Robin Williams' character. I'm like, this is so much more entertaining than watching Netflix or whatever shit. Like, this is, I don't know why more people just don't, like, it's like, the brain is so much bigger than a peanut, and we're literally just using our brains like they're peanuts. And I just that upsets me in such a historical way. So Yeah, guys. I want to bring this up. You know how like sometimes, and I'm sure a lot of people from all around the world are listening to this, about how sometimes people say Canadians sound like, "Hey, bud, how's it going?" And people would call that the Canadian accent. Yeah, I invented that. Yeah, I invented that in a dream about 5 to 7 years ago. And I don't know how a lot of people got access to my dreams, but I literally invented that. And what are you doing? What are you doing? Is what I gotta say. I invented that take on the Canadian accent, and no one's paying me shit. So yeah, just think about that. Yeah, because I legit invented that. I believe in a dream 5 to 7 years ago, and I will gain access to those dreams one day to play back. So there's someone watching my dreams, and yeah, whatever. Y'all, so much stuff is going on right now in the Canadian entertainment industry. Uh, I've been out there doing what I can. Again, like I said, we're doing a lot of snow removal, but we've been doing the bingo hosting still, which is just going. It's going so cool. It's going so cool. The bingo, which we host once a week on Wednesdays at Collective Arts in Toronto, Ontario. So that's a facet of me. And then I've been hitting the stand-up game a bit, just trying out some crap. I've been doing that, and, it's just another facet of the thing. So been doing that, which we'll circle back to after. And then, of course, I'm still playing music, right? Because I don't know. There's something in me that is like, you got to play music, buddy. You have to. And so that's what I did this past Saturday, I believe. I played a show with a band called Jaguar at the Monarch Tavern in Toronto, Ontario. And me and my buddy Blake played with one another. We played music with one another. We didn't play like Ring Around the Rosie or Smash Bros or whatever, Super Smash Bros. No, we didn't play Melee on stage. No, we played musical instruments together, and it was freaking awesome. No, it was a lot of fun. Played some songs. I like to play music, and sometimes I'm not able to focus enough on either music or comedy, so I feel like but I'm trying to focus more with my Canadian meditation, so hopefully that helps. And then we can focus more on certain aspects of the Canadian entertainment field which we participate in. So that was a lot of fun on Saturday, being able to play some music, and I just felt like a freaking Beatle up there. I felt like John, Paul, George, and Ringo all in one. Like I felt like a 4-in-1, and it was just I just felt like on cloud 10, if that's possible. I played a lot of chords, G, A, B, C, D, even E, F sharp, D sharp, B sharp. Well, some call that a C, but we play it all. And the crowd went wild. The Jaguar, they were a great band. I hear they listen to the podcast. Hi, guys. What's up? Yeah, and it was just an absolute delight. So we had a lot of fun playing that concert. Been doing some stand-up recently. I'm just trying to get some new stuff out there, and it's always a little hard to, well, it's not hard, it's just hard sometimes, challenging to build a new piece of material that you feel like can work in a lot of places, because God knows I've had a lot that hasn't worked a lot of places, but fans, thank you for the support, right? Thanks for supporting me through the good and the bad, right? But Yeah, I've been trying. I tried something a couple days ago. It got me a little discouraged. I had a thing called Late Mike. I know it was hosted by my two of my buddies, Kyle Patton, friend of the pod, and Alex Handy. He went to high school in Waterloo, I believe. But we're a couple years apart. I can't say older or younger because I don't disclose my age because, yes, it could limit me from rules because I know tons of people are listening to this just trying to figure that out, and not today. Okay. But anyways, so they were hosting a late night talk show the other day. No cameras. Because it's like, okay, that's another thing. It's like, we don't necessarily need cameras because there's a thing called memory, and then we can tell our friends about the memories we had. See, a lot of times, like, I don't even record myself. I'm not looking for a crowd where. So I think that's what I gotta start doing. Instead of like filming sets I do, maybe I just tell you all about it, and it's like, yeah, whatever happened to the oral tradition, to people using their own imagination to direct what they think it might look like. We're literally using a sliver of a peanut of our brain right now because we're eliminating a thing called imagination, which is heartbreaking in at least 15 to 19 different ways. But anyways, so I was on these guys' show, right? And I thought of a wonderful bit after the Jaguar show. I record myself doing it late at night. I just thought about like, whoa, how come no one's done a bit about like, or just talked about like even philosophically about like when humans discovered for the first time that they can eat food or whatever, or that like, so this is, but I didn't do it right on the show. But I think I'll do it right here. So this is my impression of a human when they find out for the first time that they can eat food. Oh shit, we can eat this? I literally thought this was just for like fun. Oh, I thought this was just for like I don't know, just like sort of like flicking and like just kind of like getting everywhere. Like I literally I've just been like throwing this thing. Was this? Oh, and what's it taste like? Oh, that's so cool. Oh, sorry, what's taste? I don't know. Yeah, so cool. So oh, we can eat this. Oh, no one told me. Oh, so we're allowed to eat this. I thought this was just for flicking and just like playing games with and just throwing at people. I literally thought this was just for throwing at people. But now that you tell me that we can eat this makes so much sense because I've literally been wondering about this for a bit. But now that you tell me that I can eat this, it just is a big game changer for me. It's just going to make me... Oh, and we could combine them with other things and then make other things? Dude, this is like Breath of the Wild, the Zelda game. Oh my god, dude, this is... Oh, wow, this is fascinating in a massive way. So what you're telling me is... these things that I've just been flicking and throwing at people and just rolling, I'm allowed to eat them. That's what you're telling me? Dude, why didn't anyone tell me this sooner? Oh my god, I gotta tell everyone. Mom, yeah, we could eat this. I had no idea that this is what this was for. I thought this was just for flicking and throwing at people and rolling and playing games with, but no, it's like Breath of the Wild, right? It's like Breath of the Wild, you know? Well, yes, Tears of the Kingdom was better, but it's similar to Breath of the Wild. You know how yes, you could combine them, Mommy, yes. Mommy, yes, you could combine them. And it didn't do well when I did that. I did take this really helped me out because I needed to figure it out a bit more, but yeah, the host Kyle Patton, he said, off, shoe, shoe, shoe. And I said, oh, frick. But before I tried that out, we had a great conversation about steel toe boots. And that went well. But then when I tried, it was just like an improvised sort of like, let's talk about weed. We're just like having so much fun. And then when I tried the thing I actually want to try, that's the way life goes sometimes. Life is so unpredictable. I've actually read a thing about meditation recently, just meditation in general, that don't expect anything when you're doing it. Just like let it happen. And I'm going to stop expecting anything. Right? Not just in meditation. Like when I flick a switch, I'm just going to be like, I don't care. When I try starting up my 1996 Plymouth Breeze, I'm going to say, it doesn't matter. Right? Because if it turns on or off, I'm still having fun, right? When I hang out with a friend, I'm just like, and we're supposed to, I don't know, what do friends do? Well, I just found out I don't have any friends. No, I have a couple. No, I have friends. I just haven't hung out with any friends for a while. I've just been doing so much snow removal and stuff like that, and just other entertainment stuff that I just haven't had a night where it's just like, friends, let's hang out and just like have zero expectations and just like do what people with zero expectations do. It's just been so long since I've had one of those perfect zero expectations sort of nights. But yeah, y'all are legends who listen to this, and this might be one of the biggest breaks we've taken as a podcast, and it breaks our heart. We're still in year one of this thing, second season, because we're in the second year. But second year, we did the first season run, and we said, let's do a season 2. This is fully self-produced. This is fully I have a whole executive board, in my noggin, and I just close my eyes, and we have little meetings up there. And we said we're going to do a season 2, but then this whole my other passion, snow removal, has just been, and then the music and the stand-up is just like, gosh, the years, yeah. I think we're we're entering a new frontier in Canadian entertainment, because sometimes, you think like, oh, I'm letting so much time pass. I've tried to do all these things. It's like, well, frick it. Why can't you do all these things, right? Like, frick focusing. Like, just try to do everything. Try to use as much as your brain as you can. Like, that's what this world's about. But you know what? I actually think that the world might be about using your brain and your soul and your heart all at once and seeing what happens. That's probably what the world's about, but no one's told me yet. No one tells me anything. I have to figure out every frickin' thing for my frickin' self, and that's fine. That's totally fine. Totes my goats. What movie is that from? I'm so out of touch, but like, sometimes I do worry that I become out of touch. And if I think about being out of touch too much, then I think I do become out of touch. But the less I think about the perception of what I perceive other people maybe thinking of me, then I come up with better ideas if I just stop thinking about that. I will say, one thing I really do want to work on, despite me thinking I may have come up with the Canadian accent about 5 to 7 years ago, like the one you see a lot. I can't even name anything. Like we know who stole it from me and uses it and is, whatever, because people have been able to use get into my dreams. There must be a Canadian Freddy Krueger, but he must have the Men in Black thing that erases the mind. So, well, he must have got it from Kitchener-Waterloo, Ontario, the Silicon Valley, right? I grew up in the Silicon Valley north, right? So this is all making absolute sense right now. But one thing, despite me, I believe 5 to 7 years ago, I may have come up with a Canadian accent like that we have heard in the past 6 years or so, everywhere. I do have a hard time doing voices, right? And accents, and I think maybe it's because sometimes I don't know. I know how to do this voice, but then I look back at old TikToks and freaking crap like that, and I was experimenting a bit unintentionally. There's a time where I was going narration. That's because I wanted to be quiet sometimes when I was doing narration. But then I got out of the narration game and I said, I'm freaking talking to the camera. I'm freaking talking to the camera and saying what's on my mind. Views have gone down massively. Views have gone down massively, but we're plowing through, Because it's like, you know what? Sometimes I do think about the little devilish thing we use every day. We use this every freaking day. I think about that. And I'm like, dang, why does our whole life, like, why is it does, sometimes it takes over you, like, subconsciously, like you think it's not, like in the moment you're not thinking about it taking over you, but it's like taking over you, That's so interesting how things can take over you like that, but you might not recognize it as such, right? It's interesting. There's so many interesting things. But it's just like sometimes I'm like, oh gosh. So many things are everything's on this little thing, and we have to thank Waterloo, Ontario for that, because of the BlackBerry, the thing that started it all. A blessing and a curse. A blessing and a curse. And we just have to look out a window, and that's all we can do. Look out a window and not have a thought in the mind, right? But it'll be okay. You hear about people getting off their phones, which is like great. I think it's great. But so many things have to be on them these days. And I know this is a topic done to death, but I'm allowed to talk about it too. We came up with that laugh on episode 1 or 2. My, what a time we've had. But yeah, it's just crazy. Like, it seems like if you want to pursue any profession, right, you gotta kind of do something, liquidation stores. If you want to open a freaking liquidation store, you have to be on TikTok. If you want custom cabinetry, it'd be good to have a TikTok, because, I feel like only a few people get to have word of mouth businesses these days. And I mean, maybe those people who have word of mouth busy businesses, maybe some people are like, damn, I wish but there's no reason they can't not be on the app. Sometimes I feel like I don't like fill in everything I'm saying. I hope that people know what I'm saying, But this has been, we need an episode like this, just say some stuff, just post snow removal. I hope that you guys are doing all good, shoveling out your whatever the frick you gotta shovel out, shoveling. That's, sometimes I do get scared, because I know it's like not maybe it's some like a gluten-free, alcohol-free champagne problem. But sometimes I'm like, oh, all these things I want to be successful at: podcasting, music, comedy, shoveling, like, video editing. Not that I'm just like, oh, damn, all these skills are maybe might be obsolete because a machine can do it. Yeah. But then I'm like, okay, I see how like music can be made a certain way. Well, I'm just like, I hear like AI songs out there. I don't know how they're being done. Um, I've I've read some stuff like on ChatGPT and stuff. I'm like, okay, AI can be funny. Wow. um, and because I often like sometimes I'm like, what would like just for fun? I did this a couple months ago. I'd be like, what would episode Cheers look like if Ted Danson's character really got into Kingdom Hearts, and then Frasier started listening to LaToya Jackson, and Norm started he got into a fight with Sephiroth from Final Fantasy, and Rhea Perlman's character stole a Keyblade from King Mickey. Like, that's the sort of, I just like sometimes like to fall asleep. In the past, I've like seen that. I'm like, damn, okay, frick, it's so good. And I like try not to use that at all anymore because I'm like, damn, I just get jealous of like how fast it could be. Well, and like connects things. But you know what? Maybe we all have that. We just forgot we can, But what I'm saying is, yeah, I could see how things could be funny. I see how things can, how music, I guess, can be made, how text to video editing's happening. But I am curious to see how shoveling would happen. Like, it feels like it'll be a few years down the line, but maybe it won't be. Maybe it won't be. That'll be crazy living in an automated world. Maybe it's going to happen in the lifetime. Maybe this is all a dream. I have no idea yet, but it's just something you got. It's, you don't want to spend too much time thinking on it about it, but something to consider. Sorry to bring this down a bit, but just, we came in hot off the top, just having a ball. So we had to talk about a couple other things as well. But I'm trying not to live. I really want to try to live a life without fear. Because I mean, like, you often, like, even on like Reddit and stuff like that, on like Ask Reddit, it'll be like, what's the top lesson you could like way to ruin your life or whatever? And it's like, oh, living a life full of fear. It's like, damn. Because I feel like I have been incredibly fearful for a number of years, a lot of years, but I can't say how many because I don't reveal my age. But I mean, it's not an everyday thing. Well, it is an everyday thing, actually. But like, some days are better than others. And I mean, like, I'm not trying to say, oh, my life is so hard. I'm not trying to say that. It's just that I feel like I'm just trying to say what I'm trying to say, right? I'm not trying to say anything sympathy mongering. I'm just trying to say I'm trying to break free of living a life ruled by fear. You know? Yeah. But I think just gonna keep going and try to just I do find meditation helps, but or however I try to meditate, I do find it kind of helps. But sometimes it's very hard to just get your bare ass on the hockey pucks, right? The Canadian meditation, it can be kind of hard to get down there, especially if you like feel very shaken by things. But yeah, I guess like sometimes like I have this whole thing where my first sort of like I'm just constantly expecting people to be mad at me, like in any sort of context, friends, strangers, family, people be disappointed in me, people to be saying, I don't know, like, this guy's, I don't know. But I think I talked about this before on the podcast where it's like, yeah, I'm trying just not to, because like thinking about all that stuff in like these like loops, it can make you, it's just like you're just thinking about yourself too much, obviously. Anyways, I'm trying to break free of that. Some days are harder than others, but other days are easier than others, you know? I'm not trying to say that, yeah, you know? Who knows ever what the future holds? You never know what the future holds. But I'm just but yeah, just gotta have faith in other people, maybe. And maybe people would say that's not a good thing. I don't know. But also have to have faith in yourself, right? Because at the end of the day, you know, sun shining in your eye, and you gotta just be like, whatever the sun does to my eye, I'm gonna. For the audio list, the sun is shining in my eye right now. You just gotta be like, you gotta do whatever you can. And I know sometimes if you're a long listener of this podcast, sometimes you might be like, what's this guy talking about? Sometimes I'm like, what am I even saying? Am I just meandering on like something? Am I just like talking on autopilot and like there's no connection between my brain, soul, and heart and my mouth? And the answer to that question, maybe it's possible. But then it's like, oh gosh, like, I hope I haven't said anything like on this podcast that would get me I don't know, in trouble. Oh, that's another thing. So sometimes I think about people being mad at me, and then I worry about trouble a lot. And that has been a thing that's been common throughout my whole life. And I mean, I wouldn't not say I'm not, I mean, yeah, in my life, we've taken some risks. However, just like that board game Trouble. They say it. I remember. I don't know if it's still a game or if everyone, but there's a time I do remember this board game, and the slogan was, "It's fun getting into trouble." And as a kid, I was like, "No, it's not. I hate getting into trouble." And yeah, that makes me lame, I guess. I would say this as a kid to the TV. Can't disclose my age, but yeah, that makes me lame. But that's how I feel, and I pretend that or like, yeah, I felt like as a kid, or just even like you could pretend that you're not worried about getting in trouble, but there's something like in your mind, trouble on the mind. And I don't know if anyone can relate to that. Maybe out of context that sounds crazy, but in context, like it's just like this like constant like thing, Yeah. And it sounds crazy, and people might be like, "What the heck are you talking?" Like, I should. Sometimes when you talk too much about things you think about, you're like, "Why did I say that?" I don't know. Yeah. I'm a paranoid person. I'm a paranoid person. I don't know. I've probably disclosed that on this podcast before. I sometimes when I release a podcast where I like have just said a bunch of like I'm like stream of consciousness how I'm feeling. I just have to be like, oh, gonna release this, whatever. Not that I think this is any crazier than any other, but yeah. Sometimes you gotta release a podcast like this. But we had a lot of fun, but like, this is sort of like you have fun, but then you're like, let's talk about let's get real, What do we think? So if you're a visual watcher of this, you'll see there's 4 quadrants here. Isn't that crazy? Because the sun is shining onto a window that is very that's casting a shadow on me. It's very cool. No one shoots a podcast like this. So you got it. This looks like the political compass, right? We've all done that test. Yeah. I watched the movie Fargo again recently. Like, damn, they have obviously it's a horror, like, it's a comedy, it's a thriller, it's fun, it's serious, but the subject matter is pretty crazy, but it's like, damn, they have a lot of fun down there, eh? In North Dakota, Minnesota. I'm like, is living in Winnipeg like that? Like, and I know obviously the subject matter is like, yeah, crazy, but like, cut that out and just the life, just, like, what's it like, Is Ontario just a very unique, is Ontario a unique experience, or what is Ontario? You have to ask yourself that. Ontario. You are a very interesting place. Yeah. Yep. They taught us circle, square, triangle as a kid. Those were the shapes, but they never brought up No one wants to talk about the shape province of Ontario. Nobody wants to talk about that. But I'll talk about it, right? That's what they try to teach you in math. They say we have 3 shapes. We have a circle, square, and triangle. And I'd raise my hand in class. I say, well, what the fuck, teacher? What about the fucking shape of the province of Ontario? And the teacher would say, you are so cool. My teacher said that. Sorry for swearing. I know what I said before, but you know how some people are like, don't swear in the first couple minutes of a YouTube video, it'll get demonetized. Same thing for Canada. They only listen to the first couple minutes, right? Just kidding. But, you know, I know it's a hard time out there for everyone. So I truly wish everyone the best right now. Who knows what the future holds, honestly. You never know. I'm at a loss for words sometimes, you know. But I truly hope that I hope you're all doing well. And I wish the best for you and your future endeavors. No, and your present moments and your past events. But truly hoping for the best for everyone. Yeah. And, you know, feel free to message the podcast on Instagram. Tell me what you liked. Tell me, tell your friends if you think they'd like this. Do we like solo episodes? Yeah. Should we try live streaming? I don't know. That's a good question. Sometimes I feel like I can be good, like, captivating, like, in terms of things I talk about, maybe sometimes. But then other times I'm like, what are you... Other times it's just ramblings. Is this too rambly? Or is this... No, I didn't mean to be like, oh, I can be really like, oh, I'm such a captivate. I'm just saying, I'm like, okay, sometimes, yes, I have the power to entertain, you know? But I gotta strengthen that. And I mean, that's something I've been trying to do for years. So we're going to continue trying to do this, and do what we can. But, I truly wish the best for you all, and I hope the best in your future endeavors, present moments and past events. That's a yearbook quote. No, I don't know. But what does anyone know, right? What does anyone know? That's a very good question. But we all know what we know, and what we don't know, we don't know. And what we don't know, we don't know, we don't know. And what we know, we know, no. And that is... I could have not said that any better myself. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to the Canadian Entertainment Podcast. Thank you for all those who tune in all the time. I hope I understand. Don't give up on this podcast. Sorry for the long break. We haven't given up on you. And that's not trying to... You can give up on this podcast if you want to, but, you know, we're going to try our best to deliver a quality product, be it every 10 days, every 15 days. It might be every 20 sometimes, but we're going to try to get it to our 10-day rotation once again. Every 10 days is a beautiful thing. And we're going to try our best with this, but thank you for paying attention to this. This podcast is one of the joys of my life. Thank you for letting me speak my truth. I stopped doing therapy a couple months ago. So podcasting is literally my therapy. That's a cool laugh. You have to admit that's very cool. But hey, we started off strong. Then we had a bit of fun, and now the storm has ended. The clouds are parting, and I say, be gone. Not be gone, but like, you know what I'm saying. Not be gone, but see you later, and we'll see you soon in 10 days or so. And I'm just looking directly into the sun right now. If you're, it kind of reminds me of the Lion King. God, they should make a Lion King Canada. Oh my God. Simba with a Canadian accent. Hey Pumbaa. And like, Timon. Hey. And Scar. Hey, what's going on? What's going on, Simba? I kill your dad, eh? And then Pumbaa's like, yo, Simba, try out all these bugs. But he starts describing them like, yeah, it's roll up the bug to win or something. Yeah, I don't know. We were in a flow state at one point in this episode, but the flow state may be over. But roll up the rims back. We should talk about that before we leave. I don't know if roll up the rim is at all the Tim Hortons everywhere in the world, but I hope to gosh it is. Go to a Tim Horton. I literally won a free coffee today, and it changed my freaking life. And you know what? I've only been on coffee again for about 4 years, and I started back on ice because I took a break for some years before that. But I'm back with a regular coffee, not a double, a regular coffee, and a hot coffee. I've been getting a hot coffee during these cold weather times, and by gosh, no one tells you how good hot coffee is. It's a delight. It's one of the joys of life. Try a regular coffee. I think it's 1 cream, 1 sugar, 1 milk, 1 sugar. It is so good. You gotta try that out. I love coffee. I love caffeine. But it does make me scared at times. But when it doesn't make me scared, it makes me feel alive. And ain't that the Canadian dream? Yeah. Sorry, there's good and bad with this episode, but I hope it is mostly good, and we will see you very soon. Talk to you soon. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for everyone who listens to this thing, watches this thing. We appreciate your support, and we will see you oh so soon. Goodbye.